Let me tell you, this subject is totally alien to me. Neither I am in Lineddin, nor I am in Twitter, nor I am in Facebook. Uh, so I am totally out of it. And a lot of people ask me that, and not even in Instagram, but a lot of people ask me that, why are you not there? So first of all, I must tell you that if I go there, I'll be violating the law. Uh, the Bar Council of India today passed a regulation and they circulated it to all the bar councils in India, and I made a photograph of that. I didn't want to bring it. I'll read it out to you why I am not there. And it says, just a minute. I have just printed. I would highlight to. It says it's very interesting. Platforms allowing advocates to advertise solicit work violating rules of Bar Council. The practice of providing rating and offer is again violation, and practicing, and this is very important, which it was done to say, that practicing on online platform is also in violation of law. So you can understand that why I am totally alien to this Twitter, Instagram, because they say that legal profession is not a business. And I think it's the most sought after profession today. But whatever you may, the power of, I know the power of Twitter, I know the power of Instagram, I know the power of, people say that, lot of people I ask, how do you do business from home? And they say it's so easy now to do business from home. Through Instagram, we have product, advertise our product through Instagram. All these social platforms, this is one which has become so powerful. Politicians use this social platform so for their winning of the elections and advertising as to what they are doing. I am in Facebook. I'll tell you why I am in Facebook. I don't have a Facebook friend. But I am in Facebook for one reason, that number of programs which we hold with ministers or with secretaries or with the senior officials of the government of India, they put it on the Facebook. And if I am not in the Facebook, I will not be able to go to that particular their site and see what they have written about the program. So therefore, that is the only reason I'm in the Facebook, but I have no friends in Facebook. But I know the power of social media. I know the power of... Now, today only, if you're Times of India, I don't know whether you have read it or not, Ajay Kumar, who happened to be the former Defense Secretary of India, it's in the newspaper today that he has raised 250 crores as a venture capital to invest in startup. I mean, he said, people always felt that defense secretaries knows how to deal with the files. But after I left the job as a defense secretary, government of India, I know the power of, and he did all through online. So he raised 250 crores and now he will invest it in venture capital. So, and look at the unicorns. I mean, today you have over 100 unicorns in India. It's an impossible thing to think that. And all these unicorns, this Nikia, that lady, very famous Faguni, her subscription was 82 times more. And it was all through social media. Her planning, everything was through social media. So we know all the power of internet, power of social media, power of Twitter. So instead of wasting everybody's time, everybody wants to listen to you. So let me must also thank Renuka ji so kindly for arranging such good programs and having this young gentleman, because I always feel enthused by young people. This is an era of young people. And Karan, thanks for joining us and giving us your views. So let me ask you and give your thoughts and process how people over here, you can see a lot of young lads, you can see a lot of on the front side there. It will be beneficial to them, and how they should use the social media. Of course, I will not absorb it. for some my personal reasons. But I would like to also hear from you that how powerful this social media is. Thank you very much.
Like I follow the president, I am not following Mr. Kishorepuria. And I find it so funny, Karan.
I'll be more comfortable with that.
Karan, Mr. Khaitan, members of the chamber, my colleagues in the Ladies Forum, guests and friends. Good evening, namaste, and a very warm welcome to our event today. It is my utmost delight to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Karan Kishorepuria, entrepreneur, angel investor, and changemaker, to today's talk. From a young age, Karan was innately passionate towards nurturing his entrepreneurial ideas. Harnessing his creativity and strategic vision, Karan found early success in his entrepreneurial ventures, starting from ground up. He is at present serving as the executive director at Regal Resources Limited, a leading agro-processing company based out of Eastern India. Besides, he is also helming Synergy Workspaces and Sriyash Regency in the managed office and hospitality space, respectively. Karan embodies the spirit of innovation, leadership, and transformation in both business and personal development. He is an active angel investor with as many as 15 investments in companies like Rare Planet, Bold Care, Acacia, Anveshan, Gladful, etc. Beyond entrepreneurship, Karan is a dedicated coach, guiding individuals and teams towards realizing their goals and overcoming challenges. His journey is not only about achieving milestones, but also about inspiring others to reach their full potential. Karan is a TEDx speaker and has delivered numerous talks at colleges and universities, empowering countless individuals to cultivate their strengths, enhance their skills, and navigate the complexities of professional growth. Friends, at a time when more than 80% of customers and clients research online before making a decision, branding indeed matters. However, building a personal brand is, to my understanding, is completely different from the traditional marketing channels and high-pitched advertisements. It is considered as a vital tool for building a reputation among customers and clients and standing out among competitors. I'm confident that Karan will demystify the concept of personal branding and highlight its importance on how it can resonate emotionally and connect with target customers or clients. With these words, may I now request Mr. Karan Kishorepuria to commence today's talk on LinkedIn and Personal Branding 101. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And Karan, it's over to you.
Likewise. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I'll just move there.
Yeah,
so
sure.
my laptop. Sorry, so I'm not loud enough for them. So good evening, everyone. Right now it's 4:53. I was promised 1 hour. I promise to try to be shorter than 1 hour, and I promise to try to keep your attention going while I'm talking. So welcome to LinkedIn and Personal Branding 101. So a few housekeeping rules before we start, right? Number one is take notes and screenshots. Why? Is because I will not send these slides to you. There are 60 slides I'll present very quick. So take notes because I've been a student where I've asked the teacher to send me the slides after the class is done, and I never open those slides once they hit my email. So right now is your moment, please take it. Secondly, we will have dedicated time for Q&A. I'll stop at 3 or 4 different sections where any question you have, you can always ask and I'll be open to answering. And thirdly is I invest in this company called Drivers for Me. It's by a Calcutta boy, Rajshri Nag, but that's not why I've got this bag. Inside this bag, I read a lot. I read about 30, 40 books a year. So I've got 5 books, 5 of my favorite books. So everybody who asks a good question, a book is a gift for you. And if I don't cover enough books, then I'll get some more and I'll send it to your address. So that's a gift for you for being active. And in life, right, I'm passionate about 2 things. Number 1 is roti and number 2 is 40. So roti is return on time invested and 40 is fun on time invested. So I promise that those is a mix of audience today. I think all of you are young. except myself because I'm losing hair a little bit. But that's just a joke. Khaitan sir, even you're very young. You mentioned that you're a little old, but I don't think so. So we'll focus on Roti and 40. And if at any point during this workshop you get bored, you can just let me know you're getting bored. I can sing a little bit. I'll sing for you. I can do push-ups. I'll do push-ups. The only catch is you have to do it with me, right? So if you're bored, just raise your hand, and we promise to make it as interesting as possible. 40 is, thank you so much. First question. So first book is for you. Fun on time invested. So Roti is return on time invested, but more importantly, fun on time invested. So let's begin. So this workshop, right, is in two parts. The first part is for people like Sir who have never been on LinkedIn. And I'll cover the very basics of what it is. Even my mom is here. She's not on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for giving me birth and for being the incredible person you are. And my grandmother and my another Nani is here. So yeah, so I'm very grateful that I have family in this room as well. I'll cover the background on LinkedIn, parts of a LinkedIn profile, and this is the very basics. If you've never used the platform, don't know what LinkedIn is, have never heard of it, this will help you. The second part is for maybe the younger people in the room who use LinkedIn, and that will be a little more advanced so that you can make the most out of the platform. So let's get started. This is my introduction. Since it's already covered, I'll not cover it out here. So first question for the audience, right, and a raise of hands would be helpful. How many of you use LinkedIn regularly? And show of hands would be great. Okay, so I see a few hands out here. Great, thank you so much. And another show of hands, how many of you are not using LinkedIn at all? That means you don't have a LinkedIn profile as well. Great. So I'm hoping that if this workshop works, I'll see you guys on LinkedIn right after this workshop. So this is my brief journey with LinkedIn, right? So in 2017, I had an inactive and dead profile. And in 2018, I attended a LinkedIn workshop like this. And I made a profile and hit 500 followers. So on LinkedIn, till you don't hit 500 followers, it'll show as 1 follower, 2 follower, 3 follower. Once you hit 500, it'll show as 500 plus. So it's a milestone, you can say. In 2020, I started creating content on Instagram, LinkedIn, my personal blog, inconsistently, and got invited to speak at SRCC, IIT Bombay. And my father asked me that, why are you being invited? Tum zindagi mein kya kiya? I'm like, kuch nahi, abhi bhi kuch nahi kiya, kabhi nahi karenge. But we'll always try because there's always scope. And in 2021, I started creating content with more, I would say, consciousness. I had a pattern. I was creating content about a few things. And that's when I hit 2,500 followers. And just through organic content, right, got connected to Harish Bhatt, who is the current brand custodian of Tata Sons, very big post at Tata. Spoke to Ankur Wariku, who is a big time creator in the internet era, all through organic, just writing on the platform. And in 2022, I started doing 5 posts every week. So every week I would write 5 times on the platform. I became a managed creator by LinkedIn. So LinkedIn made me an official creator on their platform. And currently I've hit 13,000 followers and still counting. So for those of you who raised their hands initially, right, you might be asking, what is LinkedIn? So LinkedIn describes itself as the world's largest professional network for professionals. And you can use it to find jobs, internship, connect with amazing people, and also sometimes enhance skills when you have time. Go ahead. I'll talk about it in the second half. So I'm noting that question down, and it's in my mind. I'll definitely talk about it.
Yeah, question will be after his talk is over.
Perfect. So, perfect. So I'll answer that for sure. And if you have questions, please note it down. I'm happy to stay back and answer as well. And LinkedIn's mission is very simple. It's to connect the world's best professionals to be more productive and successful. So all of us out here are professionals. So I think all of us can make use of this platform, even lawyers as well. So history of LinkedIn. So, before we start, right, using the platform, it's important to know what the platform is, where it started. So in 2003, the company was founded by Reid Hoffman, who's a famous founder, can look him up. In 2010 is when it hit 90 million people on the platform. So in social media like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, etc., once you hit 100 million people, you are considered to be mainstream, or it's normal lingo for millennials like me to talk about it. In 2013, it became 225 million members, and it became a publicly listed company on NASDAQ, etc. And some of you might not know this, but Microsoft actually owns LinkedIn. So in 2016, Microsoft bought LinkedIn, and currently it has about almost a billion people. So 1 in 7 people are using LinkedIn right now. And the biggest target market for LinkedIn right now is India. So they've launched LinkedIn Creator Program in India, LinkedIn Accelerator Program in India. So if you are Indian and if you're sitting in this room, it's the right time to create because the algorithm is in your favor, which means that when you create, right, this part of the geography is getting more traction or more views, likes, comments, simply because LinkedIn wants to promote itself. So these are a few reasons why people use LinkedIn, right? So number one is to get jobs or to get a higher paying job. Number two is to generate leads for your business. So if you are a marketer, a chartered accountant, a lawyer, sometimes you can post on LinkedIn and get jobs or get leads. And the third reason is for branding. So build a personal brand or be a thought leader. I think most people in this room are not looking for jobs or not maybe looking for leads. That's a whole separate topic. So I'm going to focus on the third part, which is how can you grow your brand via LinkedIn? And I'm happy to talk about the first two outside this meeting room, if that's the view of the audience. So just to give you my background, right? I'm an entrepreneur. I run an agro-processing company out of Bihar and Calcutta where we sell products all across the country and to Southeast Asia. I run some co-working spaces, I run a hotel, and I angel invest, which means I invest in startup companies. So I use it mainly for the third aspect, which is branding. And now you might be asking, why is a 26-year-old person writing every day on LinkedIn, right? And these are my 5 reasons. So number one is it helps to build a personal or corporate brand, plus be a thought leader. So I have about 1,000 people working in our company right now, and I can't talk to them every day as much as I would have liked. So when I write on LinkedIn, right, so many of them like, comment, and when I meet them in the plant or at the office, they remind me, "Aap ye share kiye mujhe bahut acha laga." So it's a very easy way to talk to your entire company every day with what you're reading, where you're traveling, who you're meeting, what you're learning. Second is amplifying your voice. So, I work with a vendor, their name is Panther Technologies. They give IT infrastructure. And oftentimes the guy tells me, he's about 50 years old, and I always tell him, I learned so much from you. And he tells me back that I learned so much from you. I'm like, how? Through your LinkedIn posts. So it's a very easy way to talk to your vendors as well, to build trust, saying that, you stand for transparency, you stand for good corporate governance, for teamwork, for diverse workforce, etc. Third is to meet incredible people. I met the likes of Ankur Wariku, Harish Bhatt. Fun fact is, my first investment was in a company called Rare Planet. The founder is from Calcutta, Ronadeep Saha. And they came on Shark Tank and they do airport retail. So when I invested, they had 4 airport stores. Now they have about 50 airport stores. So next time you're in an airport, please go and shop from Rare Planet. Tell them I sent you. I don't get any discount, unfortunately. But I invested with Namita Thapar, who's known as Pharma, also famous for MCure Pharmaceuticals. And I got that deal, again, through LinkedIn by networking. So third point, it helps you to network. Fourth is it helps to build IP, which is intellectual property. So over the last couple years, I've written 1,000+ posts on this platform. And a lot of it is actually inspired by books I'm reading, people I'm meeting, incidents that happen in my life. But human beings are such that we forget what happened, right? What happened 1 month ago, you don't remember. But because I'm writing, I have the plan to write a book very shortly. So these 1,000 stories come and form the book that I'm going to write. A lot of who I am today is writing every day, and LinkedIn becomes my personal journal in terms of writing. And fifth is access opportunities, angel investing deals. So what happens, right, is I went to an event recently a year ago by D2C Insider. And I'm no one in life. And even as I grow old, I'll always be no one because there's always scope to keep growing and keep learning, right? But when I went to the event, the person asked me, "You're the LinkedIn guy, right, Karan?" I'm like, "Yeah." So before I walked in the room, a few of them who were following me knew who I am, what I'm doing, what I stand for. And oftentimes, you cannot talk about yourself, how good you are. Let the platform do the talking. So when you're actually in the room, you seem humble, but they've already read about what you've done, who you are, and what you're doing currently. So these are my 5 reasons for why I use LinkedIn. Any questions? I'll briefly stop for 1 or 2 questions. So I'll answer your question first. I'm going to answer that at the end. Any other questions? Absolutely.
Other part of the world, you are allowed.
Absolutely, sir.
So therefore, I cannot do it, but other ones can do it. Like we had a website, you'll be surprised to know that we had to withdraw ourselves from the website.
My God.
And then they allowed us to, again, at least you can go on the website about the firm. But we cannot solicit, we cannot do the branding, we cannot go online, and we cannot advise online on LinkedIn.
Absolutely. Understood. And I won't argue with the lawyer. It's dangerous. So I'll keep moving. So now LinkedIn, right? It's like Instagram, Facebook. We know it at the surface level, but these are actually phenomenally deep platforms. So a LinkedIn profile actually has this many parts. I'll keep clicking my cursor. So name, profile photo, background photo, headline, current company, creator mode, location, contact information, add link, uh, analytics, resources, featured section, activity section, about you, experience, education, licenses, projects, volunteer experience, skills, recommendations, and some more. I'll not name all because I'm seeing my mom and she's getting worried. So I'll just go. So now what happens, right, is don't worry, like I'll cover each of them very shortly now, right? So it's pretty simple. So we'll start with now, these are the parts, 25 parts of a LinkedIn profile. How do you build it? So for the beginners, this is very important in terms of just making sure you check these off, right? So first is, if you've never been on the platform, you go and they will ask you for your email and password. And the moment you hit that, you have a profile made. Voila. It's amazing. Second step is to choose a nice headshot, right? So maybe I'll ask some volunteers out here, what do you like about these pictures? Any picture, whatever you like. Yeah, go ahead. Smiling face is great. What else? Confident, smile exudes confidence. Anything else? Dress sharply, forthcoming. Formal attire, correct. Anything else? I couldn't hear that, sorry. Professionalism, correct. So these are all very basic pictures. So the first one is my friend Samarth. It's the picture is taken at home, and he's used a website called remove.bg, which removes your background and it basically makes it whatever color you want. Even the third one is a friend Vedika Bhaiya. She's done the same thing. The second one is Ranveer Alabadia, known as Beer Biceps. I don't know how he got this picture. And the fourth one is Indra Nui, chairperson at PepsiCo, which probably looks like a studio headshot, right? So all are nice pictures. And I think you all mentioned it, right? So smiling, looking at the camera, picture was a close-up, means only one person was visible. High resolution, so your iPhone can take a good picture. Don't take a picture, send it on WhatsApp because it picks. Natural light generally works best. And on LinkedIn, you can also upload a video picture, which means that when you click on the picture, it'll say, hi, I'm Karan Kishorepuria, I do XYZ. But that's very tricky, so I would recommend not doing it. And for better pictures, you can explore these two websites, pfpmaker.com and remove.bg, which allows you to edit your pictures free of cost. So I'll keep moving. So the first part was picture. Second part is the background or the cover picture, right? And you'll see a couple here. So the first one is Karishma Mehta, founder of Humans of Bombay. And it's very simple, on a mission to tell 1 billion stories through India's largest storytelling platform. So she's advertising Humans of Bombay out here. The second one is Shraddha Sharma, founder of Your Story. So she couldn't think of something better, so she wrote a quote that she really likes. Nothing will work unless you do, Maya Angelou. The third one is Ankur Wariku. He's promoting his book. So he's written about his book, Get Epic Shit Done, out here. The fourth one is Vedika. She works in marketing. So she's written 200 clients, 400K followers. I turn people into brands. And if you can see closely, they have the faces out there and the KFC General in the middle, which became a brand amongst all the people. And I'll just take a step back and I'll show you now. One sec. So while, okay, I'm not connected to the internet. Let's connect. So while I'm connecting, okay, I lost internet connection, so I've lost this slide also. Give me 30 seconds, please. भैया ये आप तो लैंड दिए थे ना, लैंड चला गया इसका. इसमें नहीं आ रहा प्लान. लैन आ रहा था पहले. कौन सा है? नाम क्या है लैन का? LAN should connect automatically? Okay. It was connected. I lost connection though. No, it was connected to your LAN a moment earlier. Should I just try hotspot if it's faster? Huh? Okay. Let's see if I can make this work. Sorry guys, just give me 1 minute please. So we're just trying to find the password again. Give us. तो हॉटस्पॉट से हम ट्राई करें. हॉटस्पॉट आपका है क्या? आपका? मेरा फोन है पर मेरा फोन में 4G नहीं आ रहा है. आपका ले लीजिए. आपका है हॉटस्पॉट? क्या? अरे यार सॉरी. क्या नाम है? शोब्रतो. शोब्रतो. क्या पास? चलिए थैंक यू. हाँ आ गया. स्लो. आपका भी स्लो है. कनेक्टेड है तो नहीं चल रहा है. पीसीसी दे रहे. एक सेकंड. पीसीसी ना नॉर्मल बस. सुपर आपका बंद कर दिया. बंद कर दिया. 1900 $1900 हाँ. ठीक है. नहीं चल रहा है. पासवर्ड 1900 नहीं डॉलर at the rate ना. नहीं चल रहा. So we are almost functional in about 30 seconds now, hopefully. Yeah, that's not a problem. I send it occasionally. नहीं है आपके पास देखिए अभी आएगा वापस से किया शेयर रिफ्रेश जंग देखिए जंग हाँ ये बस ये खुद इसको दबाइए हो गया सब ठीक है इसको देना पड़ेगा आप जब करेंगे तब इसको आप आपका लिंक में हम आपका कैप्स कौन कैसे दिखते ऑन है नहीं कैसे कैप्स ऑन है क्या ना ऑन नहीं है ऑन कर दी ऑन है ना ऑन अब ऑफ है कैप्स ऑफ है कैप्स ऑफ ऑफ कहाँ दिखता है कैप्स अच्छा ठीक ये ऑन है All right, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah. Just a second. Okay. Amazing. So we have a gentleman here who posted while this thing was on, and he's already got 124 impressions on his post about this workshop. Can we have a round of applause for this, please? That's amazing. True roti in action. So all good now? Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much to the folks at the back for helping us figure this out. So I was talking about background photos, right? So this is mine. I've written here, I write about entrepreneurship, investing, personal growth, and then my tags, entrepreneur, angel investor, public speaker, and I've got my email, my personal website, and the links to my social media handle linked out there. So that's just an example of how you can create your own background picture, right? So we'll keep moving now. So now a few things about the background picture, right, is that out here size really matters because it's 1000 pixels wide and only 120 pixels long. So it's a very non-standard picture to take from your phone. This you have to probably edit the picture. Second is this will need some customization. Third is nowadays you think about it, right? Most people use these platforms on their mobile. So make it mobile friendly, which means make the text big enough so people can read it on a mobile. Fourth is you can be innovative, tell a story. You saw Vedika Bhaiya, she had the KFC general in the middle. I spoke about who my target audience is, what I write about, and tried to make it complement your profile picture. So I have a blue shirt picture and my background is more dark red, etc. And if you can't do it yourself, you can simply download a free background from linkedinbackground.com or freelinkedinbackground.com. Just go there, you can download the exact size of the same picture. So now the next thing, right, is something called headline. And now headline is this entire section, which you see below my photo. So I'll cover this very briefly now. So make sure that like out here, I have written entrepreneur slash 2 times TEDx speaker slash angel investor, D2C, AgTech, Health Tech, Manufacturing, partner at SVP India, ex Goldman Sachs, Boston Innos 25 under 25. So the reason I've not written Karan is an entrepreneur or I am a 2 times TEDx speaker is because out here words are very limited. You can use very few characters and I've kind of maxed out how much I can use. Second thing is you can use these pipes. You see I'm using these straight slashes to segregate what are your different titles. And the third thing, right, is LinkedIn uses this part of your profile to show your profile to other people. So you'll see I've used a lot of keywords out here, entrepreneur, D2C, manufacturing, AgTech, Goldman Sachs, because LinkedIn uses these keywords to show your profile to other people who come automatically on your feed. So also another quick fact is, sorry, I'm not used to this computer that much. Another quick fact is, if you went to a prestigious college, right? If you went to a Northeastern, St. Xavier's College, a Bhawanipur, feel free to mention it. What happens is that your college then will come on the right side as mine comes at Northeastern University. And if your company has a page, so for example, our company is called Regal Resources. Our company has a page on LinkedIn. So the logo also will pop up like it's popping up for us for that platform. So moving on, right? And a lot of this is trial by error. So, you know, I can speak all I want, but you have to try doing it to actually see what is working and what is not working. The next few things I'll quickly share on my profile. So what happens is on LinkedIn, right, you have the option, like if I click this edit button, which is the pencil icon on top right, I can turn my creator mode on, which means that when I'm creating content, I can choose 5 hashtags for which LinkedIn will show my profile to other people who are interested in the same hashtags. So I don't think I can see it myself, but if you go on my profile, you can see I've got my hashtags being entrepreneurship, social service, investing, etc., etc. You can also put your location. So I've put Greater Kolkata area so people can connect with me. Some people, what they do is they might be living in Kolkata, but they have clients say in New York, right? So they'll put their location as New York so that New York people see their profile more often. You can put your contact info. So oftentimes when you're reaching out for jobs, etc., you want to make sure you put your email in your contact info, because if you don't put your email and you're not active on LinkedIn, how do people reach out to you? And then these are a few sections only you can see. Your analytics, So how many people have seen your profile? What are your posts getting as views? Uh, and then these are some resources that you can use a little more of. So these are things that exist in your introductory section that everybody sees when they go on your LinkedIn profile. And a few people I would encourage you to check out is Ankur Wariku, Vaibhav Sisinti, and Karishma Mehta. All of them have very optimized LinkedIn profiles. For the sake of time, I'll not show them right now. Right. So the next section is probably the most interesting and the most important section. It is your About You section. And this is the only place where you can go free flow. Means LinkedIn does not tell you kya you can write in this format or you only have this much space. You can write about 1200 words out here. So you can see my profile. I've segregated by saying that professionally who I am, my notable achievements, so people know that I'm legitimate. Currently, what I'm doing in the past, what I did, and public speaking wise, what I've done. And in my free time, I like playing squash and a few other things. And then I've got a CTA, which means a call to action. It says that get in touch anytime. Would love to see how we can work together. And I've got my email there and my favorite quote, which says aspire today, inspire tomorrow. So you can create your own about you section. I'll show you one interesting one, right? Give me one sec. So this is my friend Vidhan Bhaiya. Vidhan is from Chennai. He runs a shoe company called Chemcon Limited, and he's currently an incoming freshman at Harvard. And you'll see he writes, just to make it interesting, I am doing this, and my spirit animal is a cockroach. And then he goes on to explain why is he calling his spirit animal a cockroach, because in India you have 1.2 billion people and you have to survive to thrive. And it's similar to being like a cockroach in a house where you have to survive to thrive, right? So you can do whatever you want and people generally are cool with it. And at the bottom out here, he's got Ent J mentioned. Can anybody tell me why he's got Ent J mentioned? What does it mean? Amazing. Thank you so much. I've got a book for you. So NJ is something called the Myers-Briggs personality test. It's a set of 168 questions which have 4 A, B, C, D answers. And when you take that quiz, right, you will get a personality type. And each letter says something. So you can either get an E at the start or an I. E means extrovert. I means introvert. So I am definitely an introvert. I. That's not true. I am an E. That was meant to be a joke, by the way. So we'll keep going. So that's how you can optimize your About You section, right? Sorry, this laptop is really giving me some trouble. I'm not used to this at all. Okay, cool. Next, we'll be covering these sections. So experience, education, licenses, project, volunteer. These are not so important, so I'll cover them in brief by showing you my profile, right? So first is the featured section. So for someone who writes every day, I've written 1,000+ posts. Obviously, you can't read all my posts. So I've put my top 5 or 7 favorite posts in the featured section. So the moment you land on my profile, you will see these posts to make it more legit. Second is my activity section. So now you can go and see every person whose profile I'm liking on, commenting on. So for the young people in the room, don't go and stalk other people. It gives a bad impression on this platform. The third is your experience section. So you can mention as many experiences you want. I would say don't go crazy out here because you don't want 50 experiences if you're 25. And what you can do, right, is I was at Regal. I am at Regal. So I started as a BDE and I grew to become an ED. So because I've got out here mentioned June 21 to August 21, and then out here mentioned September 21, which is directly adjacent, LinkedIn draws these pipes next to the next to your experience. So if you had a particular job, say at Zomato, and you were a junior manager, now you're a senior manager, and then you become the CEO, you can just make sure your dates are coinciding. You also have the option of adding links out here to your experience section. So for example, say that you're working currently at Zomato, right? And you just launched Blinkit, which got acquired. You can put the link of the article as well in your profile, in your experience section, which is trial by error. The next part is your education section. So if you went to a university, please do mention it. You have the option of mentioning your grade, awards, etc. And as I showed you, these are my links, the favorite links that I wanted to link. I've linked it out here. After that, you have your licenses section. So if you've done any interesting programs which are officially recognized, you can add them out here, saying what you did, when you did it, who issued it, when it was issued. After that, you have projects. So if you worked on a particular project, say at school or college, or even at work, you can add that out here. You also have the option of adding collaborators. So I've added this person out here who's my brother as a collaborator. And even on his profile now, this project will show as a live project. After this, you have the volunteering section. So when I was in the US, companies cared about this more so than in India, but even in India, this is a growing concern. Where do you volunteer, right? So I've got a couple places I volunteered at before to show that I'm an active citizen of the world and I do more than just make money. Then you have your skills section. So this is an interesting part. You can add about 30 skills in LinkedIn. And the top 3 skills are visible right out here. So I've put in modeling, financial modeling, not actual modeling, though I could put that as a skill as well, data analysis, and a couple others. And what it shows, right, is number of endorsements. So 75 endorsements, which means if you go on my profile and you see this part, there'll be a plus sign next to it. When you click plus, it'll make it 76. So other people can go and endorse you for your skills, which means that you are not just talking and blowing your own trumpet. Other people also saying that yes, he or she has that skill definitely. The next thing you can do is get recommendations and give recommendations. So especially for the younger folks, if you're working in a job or even in a corporate environment, you can ask your manager if you've worked really well to give you a recommendation. And like mine, it'll stand out as is done out here. For the younger folks, don't ask for a recommendation and tell your friend, I'll give you a recommendation. Because it will clearly show यहाँ पे that आप एक लिए है और एक दिए है उसको. So it will not look professional, but you can ask for recommendation out here. After that is your publication section. So if you've written any articles which have gone live on TOI or other journals, magazines, you can add that out here. And then any courses you've done, you can also add them here. And then honors and awards. So if you won any award, you can give the write-up, the name of the award, when it was issued. Languages, if you speak Marwari, Hindi, Bengali, etc., you can add it out here. And then organizations you're a part of and people you follow. So out here you can see my top, like some top voices I follow, companies I follow, groups I'm a part of, newsletters I follow, etc., etc. Right? So these are all the different parts of a LinkedIn section which you can build. And I would say approximately it'll take you about 2.5 hours to put everything in order once and for all. And what it does, right, is eventually your resume ends up being 1 page, 2 pages sometimes. This becomes your extended resume, wherein if you're ever trying to find out what you did, where you worked, what was your milestone you achieved, you can just refer to your LinkedIn profile and not have to figure it out by remembering it. So cool, that's the different parts of a LinkedIn profile. So I think that's it for part 1. We are at 5:34, so I'll be going quick in 15 minutes now for part 2. Any questions before we move to part 2? Yeah, go ahead. Premium. And it keeps prompting me to, get LinkedIn Premium. So what's kind of the major difference? So that's a great question. LinkedIn has a couple of, LinkedIn is a free platform. You have a couple of paid options. One of them, which he mentioned, is called LinkedIn Premium, which means a small golden icon with IN will come right beside your name. You have to pay about, I think, $1,000 a month in India and about $20 in America to get this. The advantage of this is that you can see who viewed your profile. So if you come and stalk my profile, it'll show me your name that this person viewed your profile at this time. If you come again and see my profile, it'll show again, this person viewed my profile again. So for most people, I would say it's not required. If you're working, say, as an investor and you're pitching to an entrepreneur to invest money in, and you want to see whether they are actually going to your profile and seeing your profile, it's helpful. If you are a marketer trying to sell a service, it's helpful. But for regular people, I don't think it's worth the money. And normal works as good. And you also have the option of switching off the viewing part, which basically means that you can't see who viewed your profile and they can't see if you viewed their profile. So it goes both ways. Only for non-premium. No, so even in non-premium, if you switch off your viewing option, then the other person cannot see your profile. Correct. Beautifully put. It's almost like a WhatsApp red receipt thing that you have. So for the sake of time, I'll be going for part 2 and I'll be covering this pretty quick. So this is for people who use LinkedIn actively and who want to make the maximum out of the platform, right? And I'll be covering these things. So first thing is, what are you optimizing your profile for? आप सब चीज डाल दिए. Now why have you done it? For 3 things. Number 1 is to be searchable. So the more stuff you have in your profile, the more SEO friendly it is and the more people can search you. The second thing is, why do I have a picture where I'm smiling, which is a professional headshot? It's so that I'm clickable. When people get your profile, they even click and go on your profile. And the third is approachable, which means that once they click and go on your profile, they feel free enough to reach out to you for help, for advice, for a potential like commercial transaction, etc. And then we'll talk about networking, right? So a lot of you might be wondering, who do you network with on LinkedIn? You're not using this platform to its fullest ability. So you'll be surprised that first you can network with your family. Just do a search with your maternal or paternal name on LinkedIn. And if it's odd enough like mine, Kishorepuria, you will find all your family out there. And connect with them, right? You'll be surprised that your cousin in America might be doing amazing things at McKinsey. And you might be interested in following up what he's doing or she's doing. Second is friends. So just look up your best friends from that common group you have on WhatsApp, the 20 of them, and I'm sure you'll find at least 10 of them on the platform. The third is school and college alumni. So all of us went to school or college, and we tend to lose connect with people we went to school or college with. And LinkedIn is a very easy platform to figure out what are your friends and college mates doing right now in terms of work. 4 is, if you're working in a large company, you can connect with people working in your company. 5 is, if you meet people at events like these and you find it odd to ask for phone number, you can simply look them up on LinkedIn and add them to your network. And 6 is people you find interesting. And LinkedIn has 3 types of connections. So if you go on my profile, if you're not connected, you will probably see second next to my name. What that means is that you are connected to someone who is connected to me. If you and I were connected, it will show 1 first. If you and I are 1 degree away, it will show second. If you and I are 2 degrees away, it will show third. So you want to try and make the degrees as less as possible. And I've already mentioned this fact that once you hit 500 connections, right, it will not show the exact number. So if you go on my profile, you can't see the exact number of followers on my profile unless until you try. But if someone has less than 500, it will show the exact number on their profile. Now, one very important thing is, say that you've met someone, you've met Harish Bhatt, right? And you want to connect with them on LinkedIn. So a short message really helps. And this is why. So on average, I would say I receive about 40 connections every week, just because I'm active on the platform. And I think less than 1% people do this, which is write a short note. And this is how I write mine. So I say, hi, X, insert the name. I give 1 line about myself. So I'm Karan Kishorepuria, X-year-old entrepreneur, create an angel investor from Kolkata. 2 lines about why I'm reaching out. So recently came across your profile and found your journey in the dash space. Very interesting. Would love to collect to follow along in your professional journey. Thanks, Karan Kishorepuria. Now, if I had my computer with me working, I have about 25 of these templates made. So when I'm reaching out to people for angel investing, for social service, for entrepreneurship, somebody I look up as a mentor, I have different templates made for each one of them. So I'm not writing my thing again and again. When I join a WhatsApp group, say I joined a startup WhatsApp group, right, in Calcutta, I don't write my introduction. I have it copy pasted. I'll just copy it and paste it on the group because it's very optimized. I've thought about who I am, what I want to be described as. So I'll keep going. And I had a note saying show current templates, but my laptop is not working, unfortunately. So when reaching out to people, right, a few things to keep in mind. Make the note personal, write their name 100%. Introduce yourself and give context. Keep it to the point. Busy people don't like receiving long notes. Do not sell on the first message. It's very unattractive. And no open-ended questions. So I've got multiple times saying, hello, how are you? I'm always doing great. So don't ask me that. And if you don't make smart effort, right, while reaching out, chances are your connection will not work. So it takes 10 seconds to write a small note if it's templatized. Just use that when reaching out to busy people. Now you've made your profile, you've reached out to people. Now why create content? So a personal brand, right, is the first 3 to 5 things that come to your mind when someone thinks of you. So when you might meet me, you might now think books because I mentioned books, startups because I mentioned startups, LinkedIn, public speaking, etc. So the first 4 or 5 things that come to your mind when you think of someone is personal brand. And what happens is, right, if you don't build your brand consciously, it'll build itself. So a cousin of mine, I told him write on LinkedIn. He's telling me that I don't want to write on LinkedIn. I don't want to put myself in a box. And I told him that people already put you in a box. They think of you as X, Y, and Z. When you write on LinkedIn, you are simply controlling the narrative of what you want to be known as, what you want to be described as. And if you're not sure, right, what your personal brand is, just ask your close family and friends what are the top 5 things that come to your mind when they think of you. And tell them to be brutally honest. Some might say partying, fashion, law, etc., etc. But you can ask them and figure it out on your own. Now, why create content? So I told you there are about 1 billion people online. 90% have dead audiences and only 1 to 2% create. On Facebook, this 1 to 2% number became a lot bigger. So the platform became dead. So till this creator percentage does not hit 10%, right? The platform is still live and thriving. So Facebook in our world is dead. Twitter is still active, LinkedIn is still active. So you want to get on the bandwagon early so you can optimize and then move on as a better platform comes up in time. And you want to also figure out who your target audience is, and you can figure this out by knowing who you are. So I'm a 26-year-old entrepreneur, angel investor, public speaker. What do you write about? I write about personal growth, investing, and entrepreneurship. And who could benefit from you? Probably people between 18 and 30 years old who are trying to figure out what to do in life and live more consciously. And this is answering ma'am's question. Now, you have all these ideas, right? How do you create content? So I would say the first thing starts by content consumption. So you can do consumption by newspaper, newsletter, books, Twitter threads, podcasts, video, movie, courses, traveling, and through failure. You can document your learning. So for example, I would show you my idea bank. So whenever something happens in my life, right, I put it on my iPhone notes in my idea bank column because I can't remember everything. So I read an interesting book, an interesting quote, I'll put it as my idea in my idea bank and then write about it and don't care about what people might think. And I wrote this for this group specifically. So for the Bharat Chamber, I would say you can create content about books you're reading, about learnings from a podcast, learnings from Bharat Chamber or any other networking event you went to, interesting companies you follow like the defense minister's company or other things as well. Personal anecdotes, like, we recently went to Pahalgaon, my mother and I, and we enjoyed that trip, but there were some learnings along the way, right? Be it disconnecting from your computer or seeing the nature, etc. You can talk about that. Lessons from entrepreneurship and personal life, and some trending news like ChatGPT, Shark Tank, etc. So these are things that all of you can write about. They're not unique to any one person. And also work-life balance. I think people older to me have really figured that out well. And then I'm just wrapping up now. These are some best practices for content. So I would say your posts should be between 1300 characters. Best time to post is 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. 3 to 4 hashtags usually work well. Very, very important, please add pictures. You will see everybody on LinkedIn is adding pictures because the platform is optimizing for pictures. If you're sharing a link, say to a YouTube talk, don't put it on the main post, put it in the comment section. LinkedIn doesn't want you to go to YouTube because they don't get paid then. Tag relevant people. So if you're mentioning me, tag me. It helps. I might reply back. And if somebody is replying to a comment, if somebody's putting a comment, reply to it promptly and engage with other people. If you give, you'll get a lot more in return. And these are just some tips to build a strong personal brand. You can take a photo for the sake of time. I won't be going through each one, so I'll pause for 5 seconds. And then as I move towards wrapping up and people are taking pictures, I will just say a very important quote that you can't control the result, you can only control the effort. It took me about 2 years to get 500 connections and then a year to hit 10,000. So just spend time and I promise you, you will get the results that you're looking for. And because I'm around a lot of inspiring people, these are some inspiring people I follow on LinkedIn who write really well. So in the entrepreneurship space, a couple names. In the investing and venture capital space, a couple names. In the org behavior space, a couple names. And then for life design, marketing, a couple names. So you can take a photo, all these folks write actively. I've spoken to many of these people just by writing online. They've never met me, but I've spoken to them, and it's a brilliant place to connect. And because I love reading, these are some of my favorite books I've read in recent times around startups, business, growth, investing, and other. I call this my island of knowledge, so you can check it out. And I'll move on. And for people who don't like reading books, these are movies you can watch as well, and some documentaries that I've enjoyed watching last couple of years. You can again take a photo. These are all nice, mostly non-fiction. And I will then move on. So this is a small QR code that you can scan. I would request you if you can scan this and fill this out. It would take you about 1.5 to 2 minutes. It asks for your email. Once I get your email, I will be sending out to you my habit tracker. So I track all my habits, whether I'm stretching every day, meditating, doing yoga, drinking 3 liters of water. It's a little extreme, but I have a habit tracker made, which is very nice to work at. Second, my network tracker. So whenever I meet people, I put them on my network tracker. I have about 130 people on this tracker right now, wherein I can remind them on their birthday, happy birthday. I can send them a book which I enjoyed reading, etc., etc. It has about 26 columns, so I'll send you the template. My LinkedIn profile checklist, 10 tips to become better networker, and I'll add it to my newsletter as well, which I send out regularly. So it'll take you 2 minutes. If you can do that right now, that'll be great. You can just scan the QR code if it works. If it doesn't work, you can put the link on top. So I'll just give myself a minute and then. So while people are filling out the QR code, I'm open to questions right now. I know we are almost done for time, but I'm going to stay back as well in case you have questions. Just remember that if you never ask, you will never know. And पूछने में क्या हर्ज है exactly, it's free of cost. And if you don't have any questions, this is the end. I hope you had a good time and learned something. Thank you so much for having me. It was a real pleasure and honor being here. Thank you. I'll accept it. Yep. Great, great. So what happens is that when an active person, right, 198 impressions, so that's great. He's tracking it live. So when an active person, say that I'm active on LinkedIn, I have 14,000 followers. If I comment on your picture, it'll generally get more traction because people in my feed will see that Karan has commented on this picture. So you want to get more and more active over time. And as you get active, you'll build more connections and they'll start engaging with you as you engage with them. So thank you so much. In case you have questions, I'm here. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Mr. Karan. So this is a really wonderful presentation. So I'm a software developer by profession and I'm currently doing my MBA. And I also have a startup for mental health. And the team formation is already done. The product development is in place. I'm really curious, how do I go about with the marketing of that product on LinkedIn? Because whenever I do marketing stuff on LinkedIn, it does not give some really great impressions. So how do I go about that?
So, first thing I would say is, firstly, awesome that you're doing so many things.
Thank you.
I would say 2 things. Number one is first, build your own brand. When you build your own brand, right, it's very helpful to your company as well. For example, people want to work with Ankur Wariku, but his company is called Web Veda. So his brand helps him get people on his company as well. Second, on your profile, start talking about why your company is awesome, what kind of things you're doing, why is mental health big, etc., etc. And third is on your build a company page for your startup and start posting out there actively as well. Though company pages on LinkedIn tend to get less traction than personal pages.
Thank you so much.
Most welcome. Any other questions? Okay, great. Awesome. So I'm going to stay back out here for a couple minutes and I'll share the book with the people who, yeah, go ahead.
Thank you so much for your well speech. I would really loved it, the way you spoke, the way you handled the audience and all. Okay, I want to ask a question that I want to do a startup. So, like, in which field do you tell me that go for that field? It will grow definitely in future. Currently, I'm pursuing MBA. So, I would like to ask you a question that in which field you are you would be telling me that you go for that field, it will be greatly for you as a MBA student. Yeah, you can go for. What will be your recommendation?
So, I do a separate talk on startups altogether. But I would say three things again out here. Number one is most people, right, say product market fit. But when you ask a founder, especially in today's age, what is more important, they'll tell you founder market fit. So figure out what are the problems you are passionate about in terms of solving. And if you're not sure, right, just sit down in your room and list out the 10 biggest things that come to your mind. It might be mental health. You look like a fit guy. So it might be around fitness. It might be around, like, I know diabetes is big in the country. India is the diabetic capital of the world. And every sector is hot. In terms of where I see the future go and what I'm investing in, I would say consumer is big. As India gets more money, more people will be spending money on consumer products. Second is fintech. India is the most evolved ecosystem out here. EV is big. Anything to do with sustainability, solar, green energy is really big. So, but more importantly, right, you want to figure out what is it that you are passionate about and where is the trend going. And if you're not sure where the trend is going, simply go on Google News alerts or Google Trends and click keywords, EV, click Virat Kohli, you'll get to see the spike. How many people are searching these words right now? And you want to go where the puck is going, not where it has been. So consumer, fintech, sustainability, purpose-driven brands, these are areas where I see a huge white space in the market. But India is wide and open, man. I came back from the US to India right now because I think this is the place to be. So any sector you go to, it's amazing because the country is amazing right now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Most welcome. Great. So I guess we are good. Any last questions? I'm going to be here. And if you didn't ask me a question right now, I'm not going to answer at the back, just FYI. But thank you so much, guys. Again, thank you, ma'am, for having me. Thank you, sir, who's, I think, busy right now. It's been lovely being with this audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We have come towards the end of this very interesting talk. Before we conclude, I would request our chairperson, Madam Renuka Shah, to present a memento to Mr. Karan Kishorepuria as a token of appreciation. Thank you. May I now request Senior Committee Member of the Chamber, Dr. Saurabh Khemani, to propose the hearty vote of thanks and conclude today's talk.
So Karan, Mr. Khaitan in absentia, Mrs. Shah, members of the Chamber, members of the Ladies Forum, guests and friends. At the end of this very interesting talk on LinkedIn and Personal Branding 101, it is my pleasant duty to move a hearty vote of thanks to our guest speaker, Mr. Karan Kishorepuria, entrepreneur, angel investor, and change maker, for addressing the members of the Chamber and the Ladies Forum and sharing his valuable insights this evening. In this day and age, personal branding has become a very important passport to the opportunities that we get. As Mr. Kishorepuria lucidly explained, more than a modern necessity, personal branding can set us apart in the cluttered business networking space. I once again would like to thank Mr. Kishorepuria for his valuable observations on the importance of personal branding and how we can make it best for us. My thanks to the members and guests for attending today's talk. With these words, I request you to join me in carrying a hearty vote of thanks to Mr. Kishorepuria with appreciative acclamation. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please join us for high tea.